I don't know what's with this trend lately, but stop thinking about making your hobby your business. Don't even think about taking something that you're passionate about, that you love, and trying to make a career out of it. It just won't work. You are meant to work the 9 to 5 plus overtime that you don't get paid for so that you can put food on the table and provide for your family. And then at the end of the day, complain that you did all of that doing something that you don't love and enjoy. Now, obviously, I think you get the vibe of this video. And if you are trying to take a hobby or a passion and make a business out of it, then try harder. And what I mean by that is actually try. Put yourself out there. Bite into it. Step into the unknown. Stop hiding behind the fact that you might want to do this someday, and do it today. Do it today. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And of course, we need to make money. We need to find ways to provide a living for ourselves, especially if we have dependents, if we have kids, right? If we're providing for elderly parents, all of these things, they're additional weights that we need to make sure that we provide for. But it doesn't mean that we just stop and we don't even try, right? What you want to do is take the smallest steps possible to work in the direction that you're trying to go. And the best way to do that is actually to see yourself 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now. Actually see what happens if you achieved what you're trying to achieve. Right? For me, it's being a musician. But it's not just making songs and playing shows. That's just one aspect of it. So this brings me to two things that you need to think about when you make a hobby your business. Right? One, have you explored all the avenues, all the possible revenue streams of making that hobby your business? Right? And then number two is, have you explored what would happen if you made your hobby your business, in a sense that if this became an obligation or something that you're tied to where you need to do it to make money? Have you explored the possibility that you would still want to do this? Would you still want to do that, or would you maybe resent the fact that you had converted your hobby or your passion into your business? So let's dissect. Number one, exploring all avenues. So as a musician, somebody that's trying to get my music out into the world, hopefully so others can enjoy, and then it would be even better to actually make an income from it. Right? There's many original modes that people think about. They think about playing live shows, right? Trading time for dollars, and then selling music. So you put a lot of time and effort into writing, recording, mixing, producing, mastering, and then releasing your songs out into the public, and then hopefully some promotion so that other people actually know that you released the music. And then you might gain some traction and you might make some money. And with streaming services today, right, the amount of money that comes in is actually relatively low. Right? But that's just two of the endless possibilities for making money with music. Right? If you're a musician, you could sell your songs to other artists. You could use your songs for sync. So you could pitch it as a song that can be used in TV, radio, advertisements, those types of things. You could sell merchandise, right, on your own music channel, your own YouTube channel, or whatever social media platform you use. You could sell merchandise that you believe in, that you wear, something like that. You could sell or promote the items that you're using to create your music. So your keyboards, right? Your audio interface, your headphones, your microphone, all these types of things. So affiliate advertisements, right? Sponsorships, selling your music, merchandise, sync. The list goes on. And regardless of the field that you're in, you really need to think about what are all the ways that I can take something that I'm passionate about and make a living off of it. Right? And coming back to the music, there are platforms where people can write songs, parodies of other songs even, where they'll write a song, tailor it to somebody's personal experience, like a loved one's birthday, for example. They'll take personal details, they'll create the song, and voila, you have a way of making some money doing music. Now, not everything is glamorous, right? Not everything makes the big bucks, but you're finding ways to actually make money doing what you love. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, do you really want to make money and rely on making money doing what you love? Okay, so there's a lot of people that have resentment for leaving their 9-to-5, leaving something that they weren't absolutely in love with, making what they do love their job. Again, for me, it would be music. But then finding that if they didn't make clients happy, if they didn't produce enough songs, if they didn't, make X amount in a given week, month, year, they felt like they were failures. And then they blamed the fact that they went to their hobbies instead of what they were making money in their business careers. Now, it's not so much a problem if you're not making money to start. You could be a college student, or you could be somebody in between jobs. Right? And it's not so much of a problem if you're working multiple jobs, not making what you believe that you could be making from taking your hobby and making it a lucrative career. So these are all the types of things that you need to think about. Right? But I meant it when I said stop fantasizing about making your hobby your career. Right? Not because I want you to squash the idea, go back to your 9-to-5 and forget we had this conversation. But because I want you to make that fantasy a reality. Right? And it's scary. Right? It's scary to go out there. It's scary to put out, for me, it's scary to put out your music. Will people like it? I don't know. I like it. If they don't like it and I do like it, what does that say about me and my taste in music? Right? But if you're like me, you have a fire behind you that's telling you, I have something here. This is something I enjoy, and I either have the talent in, or I will put the time in to have to gain the skills and the knowledge and the talent that I need to get this out there. Right? It could be anything. It could be an Etsy store, right? You could be making woodworking projects on Etsy. And there's a million other Etsy stores that do woodworking projects, but you have a special idea. You have your own personal brand, your own personal identity to share with that. You have your own ideas of ways of tweaking it and making it better than everybody else that makes the same types of woodworking projects. Right? It's the same attitude that I would take if I were to do sync music. Right? To go for an advertisement for somebody like Apple, right? Or Windows or Microsoft or whatever it is that, the hard to reach places that there's an advertisement that you want to get placements in, right? I would look at what's out there. How can I do that, right? Number one is how can you make things that are similar to those that are already out there, right? How can you create things that are similar to those that you aspire to be? That's number one. That's how you get there. That's how you get to their level. But then two, how can I make it my own? Right? So you're not just taking somebody else's idea, or you're not just taking some kind of method that's worked in the past and seeing it as your only path, but making it your own so that you are the go-to person for that. Right? I don't care if you're making cutting boards on Etsy, if you're making songs in the most obscure genre that has 1,000 listeners possible. You want to be the best at what you do. And being the best isn't just understanding what the best today is doing, but also putting your own twist on it, right? Because these are creative spaces. And it's not just taking something and copying it and mimicking it. It only works for so long, right? If you're a specific type of actor where you get the same type of films because you do a great job in it and you keep going and keep going, people that come to mind, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, things like that, right? Where they're really good at that one specific thing that they do, and they continue to do it, and they become the best at it, and they just keep going, right? That's what you need to do in your creative space, right? But step one, taking that hobby and actually looking at how people make money to do it, right? Because we're talking about making it a career, and a career brings in money, right? Or it's no career at all. So what are they doing to make money? How can you do that? And then how can you make it better or make it your own? So start looking into those things. Step 2, seriously consider what happens if you make this your business and it becomes a burden. It becomes something that you have to put 30, 40 hours a week into in order to bring in enough money to pay the bills, right? 30, 40, 60 hours, right? Especially when you're starting out, it could be a significant amount of time before you even see a living wage. Is this something you want to depend on? Or is this something that you're going to blame for getting in your way when you had something good going to begin with? And I can say for me, it's the former, right? I had a great high-paying job in the tech industry. And someday I might end up back there. But my passion was always with music, specifically songwriting, producing, and just putting tracks together and getting them out into the world. If I can get my songs out into the world and I can make some money doing it so I can continue getting more songs out into the world while providing for my family, that's my success. Define your success, right? Your success, if it's just financial freedom, then get the highest paying job that you can possible. Invest in the right things, right? There's plenty of investment YouTube channels and platforms where you can learn. Invest in the right things. It's actually not super complicated. And then just continue to make money off your investments, working really hard to make more money, and then retire early, be financially free, and you're set and you're good to go. But if you actually want to take something that you care about more than anything, maybe with the exception of the people in your life, again, for me, it's writing music. If you really want to take that, if you really want to take it and make it your living, right, and stop fantasizing about it, taking that hobby and making a career out of it, then you need to take the first step, see how you can actually make money from doing it, and do it today. Okay, do it today, do it tomorrow, do it the next day. Be consistent. Try new things. Focus on them, right? Staying with a narrow focus. See where it leads. And then try something new or pivot, right? Pivot just a little bit. Okay, so writing songs for sync is starting to work, but I found that my music is getting picked up more in advertisements than it is in TV. I'm going to focus more on writing for the types of advertisements that are gaining some traction with my style of music, or that my style of music is gaining some traction with. Right? So use your analytical process to see what is working, how you can make money, and then go in that direction. If that's really what you want, make sure that's what you want. Right? And then keep in your mind, you can always go back to what you're currently doing. Right? You can always go back to the job that you tell yourself that you don't enjoy doing. It's only there to make money. You really want to do, X, Y, and Z, music, acting, whatever it is, your own startup. Right? You can always go back. Maybe not at the same company. Maybe you can. Many companies are forgiving like that, and actually want you back if you've been a helpful employee. But I implore you, take the first step today. All right, start working in that direction and talk to everybody you know. Everybody you know, it doesn't matter if they're in the space or not. I am working on making a career, a path, a business towards my hobby, towards this direction. And I just thought I'd share that with you because it might be somebody that's nowhere in that space, but they have a friend or a friend of a friend, right, that might utilize what you have to offer. So start today. Make sure this is what you want. Tell everybody. Right? Don't delay. There's no point in delaying because you're only going to resent yourself for not even trying to begin with if it's actually what you want to do. All right? So I hope you took this to heart. I don't want to stress anybody out, but you really do need to start now. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll talk with you real soon.